Okay, we're going to make a piece of calligraphy today. We're going to take our 9 by 12 piece of paper. Notice I have my 9 by 12 piece of paper standing nice and tall, or portrait. I'm going to take a ruler. Please remember, when you get rulers out of my drawer, you are only allowed to have an 18-inch ruler. You are not allowed to use 24-inch rulers. There's no reason for a 24-inch ruler on a piece of paper that is no longer than 12 inches. So, standing with my paper, going vertically, or portrait, I'm going to start at the bottom. My paper is 9 inches wide when it's vertical. Okay, I want to cut that in half. So I'm going to go to 4 1/2, and I'm going to put a little mark at the bottom. I'm going to go to the middle of my paper approximately. I'm going to measure again, 4 1/2, and I'm going to put a little mark at the middle. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to measure 4 1/2 again. I put another little mark. So I have 3 little marks on my paper. You probably can't see them very well, but there are 3 little marks on my paper. Now I'm going to line up my ruler with those 3 little marks, and I'm going to draw a line. This line is temporary. I want to be able to erase it, so use light pencil lines. Now I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to measure 1/2 inch above my line. Okay? Remember, I need 3 spaces to write my calligraphy. So that is what I'm making right now. So at the bottom, I measured 1/2 inch from the line going up to the left. I'm going to measure 1/2 inch at the middle area, and I'm going to measure 1/2 inch at the top. Okay, now I'm going to measure those, or not measure, excuse me, I'm going to line those 3 marks up again, and I'm going to draw a line running through those 3 marks. Now I have created my middle line for my calligraphy. Well, now I need my line from my ascenders, and I need my line from my descenders. So I'm going to go now to the right of that center line, and I'm going to draw another line that's 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch from the bottom, 1/2 inch in the middle, 1/2 inch at the top. Okay, I will measure, or I will line those measurements up again, and if I've measured 1/2 inch correctly, my entire line should be 1/2 inch from that first middle line that I drew. Okay, so now I have 2 spaces. Okay, I need 1 more space because I have to have a space for my ascenders and my descenders. Okay, again, 1/2 inch. I'm measuring from that second line that I drew that was on the left-hand side. I'm now measuring 1/2 inch from that line to make my 4th and final line. That will create my 3 spaces that I need to create my line of calligraphy. So I'm going to measure up nicely with my ruler, and I'm going to draw that top line. Okay? Now I have 4 lines, but they create 1, 2, 3 spaces. Now I'm ready to write my calligraphy. Okay? Let me see if I can bring this in a little closer for you. All right, so I'm going to write my name. My name is a proper noun. Okay? Therefore, my proper noun, as my name, needs to be capitalized. So I'm going to need to make sure that I'm looking at my majestuals, or my capital letters, for that first letter of my name. Now, I have a title because you guys refer to me as Miss Brochet. Miss as the title, as my title, needs to be capitalized as well. So I'm going to select my capital M, and I'm going to start with that because I am Miss Brochet. So I want to try to center this as much as I can on the paper. Maybe it won't end up very centered, but that's my goal, is I want to try to center it. So I'm going to start over at the left, because obviously we write left to right, and I'm going to start with my majestual for Miss. So I'm going to start Miss, start with my M, Okay. All right, so my majestual for the word Miss, notice, it is a majestual. Therefore, it needs to go into my line for my ascenders. Notice how it does not go into the line for the descenders. That's because it's not a descender. It is a majestual, which is an ascender. Okay? Majestuals are always ascenders, even if in a lowercase it would make it a descender. So my capital P, still an ascender because it's a capital P. It does not become a descender. Okay, so make sure you are looking. None of your ascenders should be a descender. None of your capital letters should fall into this third line. Okay, so there's my M for miss. Now I'm going to look at my minuscules, my lowercase letters for my S. My S is going to touch the top of the middle line. It's going to curve around, and it's going to touch the bottom of my middle line. Remember, it has to touch the top and the bottom. Okay, miss is an abbreviation, so therefore it needs a period. You do not need to worry about that because you're not going to be doing your titles because you're just going to be doing your first name. Or if you would like, you may also do your last name. So now I'm going to go on to my proper noun, which is my name, Miss Brochet. So now I'm going to go back to my majestuals. Okay, back to my majestuals. My paper's sitting up here in front of me so I can look at it. Okay, I'm going to do my capital letter B for Brochet. It is a majestual, which would be an ascender. No descenders, remember. So my capital B. So there's my capital B, my majestual. Now I'm turning my paper over to my minuscules. And I'm going to look at that to help me with the rest of my letters. My R touches the top line, touches the bottom line, that vertical. Curves around, touches the top of the middle line. Always touches the top of the middle line. My O, top, bottom, top, where I end it. My C, top, curve around. My touches the bottom. K, it's an ascender. Nice and tall vertical line, top of the line, bottom of the line. My A looks very much like my C. Curve it around, add my vertical, and there's my A. Okay, I've done that in pencil first. There we go. I've got it in pencil. I spelled my name correctly. I don't have any mistakes I need to fix. Now we're ready to go on to our marker. Okay, I'm going to use the big end of my marker. Okay, the big end. Okay, I want to write with the flat kind of diagonal part of the chisel tip of my marker. It's not the tip. Remember, I'm not going to have my marker vertically. I am not writing with the corners. You will smashify my marker, okay? So I'm writing with the chiseled, the flat, vertical side, if you're looking at your marker, standing up, okay? So I'm going to write with the flat vertical sign. I'm going to go over my pencil lines. Okay, notice I didn't talk while I was doing that. Why? Because I need to focus on what I'm doing. Writing words and talking and having a different conversation don't go together very well. You need to focus on what you are doing, okay? Now my pencil that I have left does not have an eraser, but I would erase my extra lines, give it a minute or two to dry. Really, that's all it takes is a minute or two. Then, once you have erased your lines, you'll start adding in the things that represent you, okay? So, maybe I want to You know what? I kind of like painting. So maybe I'm going to draw in a paintbrush. Because I like to paint. I'm going to draw in this big old paintbrush. Because I like to paint. Okay? So there's my paintbrush. Okay? And I'm going to draw, maybe I've got my painting palette over here. Okay? I've got my areas for my color swatches. Okay? And then maybe I have over here, I've got a cup of water. Okay? Maybe over here I've got a cup of water. Okay? There's a table that my stuff's sitting on. And maybe I've got some other stuff that goes along with it. Maybe there's a tube of paint over here. Okay, it's red. Okay, so I'm going to fill my space. Okay, remember last time I showed you this, we're not drawing teeny tiny little things that don't really go together. We want to use the entire space. Okay, so calligraphy.